everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. Make sure you guys hit that follow button to stay connected with us. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. Also, you will see some of the products from our next guest. As we are celebrating Small Business Saturdays this weekend, we're excited to welcome back my friend Robert Helm to our broadcast. He is the creator of the AllSports Headgear. I'm actually rocking one of mine here. And my friend Fred here, he has on a couple of them as well. And you guys can be able to get them for yourself too. They're on sale right now on Amazon. So you'll see either them here on the side of us or beneath us. Make sure you guys do be able to choose your favorite color for yourself and the family and be able to get it. We'll be talking to Robert not only about what it's been like for him to see how the brand has expanded, but also some of the features you guys may want to know about as well. And because he is live, if you have any questions for Robert, please feel free to be able to put those in the comment section. We'll also welcome those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on Twitter. We're broadcasting live there as well. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys put those in the chat too. But Robert, glad to have you back on with us. Thanks for the time.
Hey, man, thank you for having me, Cyrus. I was just telling some of the people that follow me how excited I am to be on with the world-renowned one and only Cyrus Webb. So thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate that. My aunt always tells me if there was more than one of me, the world would be in trouble, Robert. So I think we should all be glad there's only one. One of me here. So, man, I'm excited about celebrating Small Business Saturday with you. You've been able to do something really remarkable with AllSports Headgear. For one thing, I think as we're kind of thinking about businesses, Robert, the big thing is you've been able to do it. What so many people just talk about, what so many people just dream about, you've been able to do it, to have your product literally going around the world. What has it been like for you to be able to give yourself credit for that?
Wow. Well, the journey has been definitely very rewarding. I've had the pleasure of meeting great people, participating in some great events, and, having this product that just continues to grow, not just from its recognition on the marketplace, but also developing as a product, or evolving, I should say, as a product. So very, very exciting times.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the process for you, Robert, because I think for everyone that is thinking about being an entrepreneur, being able to create something that people will want, it kind of begins with a need. I know the story because you've shared it with me before, but let our audience know that are just finding out about you where the idea for AllSports Headgear came from.
Sure. Well, I'll give you the quick version. How's that? Since we already talked about it, but
Okay.
I guess the most important parts of it was, a friend of mine and I who actually was a professional boxer, as well as a seamstress for some reason. But anyway, he and I were sitting in my kitchen or standing in my kitchen, just kind of talking, having coffee, and watching some highlights of basketball. And in the course of that, I happened to see Steph Curry, kind of put on a towel just like over his head, and different things like that. And, I noticed he seemed to do it a lot in kind of different ways, and it looked pretty cool anyway. And then, that just kind of led to thinking, man, what would it be like if there was something actually like that, And, after talking with my buddy, I pretty much just drew out I grabbed an old towel, that I had and a Sharpie, and just kind of drew out this idea of what I thought it would be like if there was something that just would made it easy to do exactly what Steph Curry was doing. And from there was kind of like the prototype, if you will, of the AllSports Headgear. And as I said, my buddy, and he's a great, great friend to this day. He just cut it out, man, and started sewing it together. And the next thing you know, we put it on, and, it was like epiphany. I felt like, oh my God, this is the most awesome thing in the world. We both kind of had that same impression initially. And at that point, actually came up with the name. At that point, it was just AllSports. And, by the time we really completed the prototype, it became the AllSports Headgear. And so from that day, it's evolved a lot in certain ways, but it's really kind of built off that initial prototype.
Love that. Love that. And I love the fact that you mentioned that it is kind of grown from that prototype, because I love that. I mean, you're rocking a different design than I am right now. We're going to talk more about the differences that you have here on Amazon, Robert. But I also love the idea I mean, of the wow factor of it. I mean,
Mhm.
do you still have those wow moments when you think about how it began in your kitchen? I tell people when comes to with myself in conversations that began in my parents' living room, and,
Mhm.
and to think about where it's come from now. Do you still have those wow moments of where it started and where it is today?
Um, yeah, I would definitely say so. Being an inventor, I've kind of always wanted to create ideas and things like that. So coming up with something wasn't surprising, but seeing people wear it, use it differently than what I anticipated it for initially, things like those experiences really, those are like the wow moments because I'm like, wow, I didn't think, and I literally say, wow, I'll say, wow, I didn't think of that. And so yeah, I still have moments like that, where it just reminds me how sometimes something so simple can be so significant to someone else.
Right. So let's talk about then. You mentioned, of course, watching Steph Curry and see, kind of having that seed planted. Talk
Mhm.
to us about the functionality because yes, they are stylish. They come in different colors. As people
Mhm.
joining us on Amazon can see, Robert, the different colors, also the different designs. I have some of them here. I have the white, red, and the blue, which is
Mhm.
my favorite one here. But talk to us about the functionality of the All Sports headgear.
Well, it originated as a fitness hood or fitness towel, right? As you see.
Mhm.
And it has the two pockets there on the inside. And those two pockets were strategically positioned for the benefit of relieving pain that sometimes is, you get from whether it's rigorous exercise or even just, basketball or, just other activities.
Mhm.
So those pouches were designed to try to alleviate pain there, for hot or cold relief. And then, over time we looked at, okay, well, there's lots of women playing a lot of sports now. I shouldn't say now because it's been the case for a long time. But anyway, men and women both having long hair, we thought, wow, what a great idea to have an opening, in the back so that if you wanted to wear your hair back rather than to have it, kind of in the front of you, you had that option. Because I noticed that a lot of ladies would like, or people with long hair, I should say, would wear
Mhm.
like a, something around their hair to kind of hold it in place.
Yeah.
And the benefit to that hold is it's big enough to fit your hair through, yet small enough to keep it confined. So it kind of functions in that same way, keeping it out of your face or out of the way as you're, maybe doing various exercises. But so that was, the towel coupled with the idea for the hair opening, coupled with the idea of the pouches being located in places that are common for people to have aches and pains. Um, and, again, as I said, we initially started with a prototype that it didn't have the pouches, it didn't have that hair opening. And so as we've collected feedback, as we've used the product, we've just identified, modifications that could be made to make it even more versatile and even more functional. And so those two modifications were, a result of that.
And I think too, you mentioned, of course, it's something that men and women can be able to use, but also we've seen in some of the promotion you've done, you have children with them as well. Talk to us about that, Robert, because I can imagine for you going from seeing other people promoting their products and videos
Mhm.
and and commercials. What is it like for you now to see your own product featured in those same things?
Oh man, again, very exciting, very rewarding. I think some of my favorite customers, if you will,
Mhm.
have been children,
Yeah.
because kids, it's like a little miniature cape, sometimes.
Mhm.
I personally enjoy using it for my child because, in the wintertime, a lot of times the kids, you put on their coats, you bundle them up and try to keep them as warm as you can, but there's always little pockets, crevices that air or snow can get into. And so I like to use mine, for that particular purpose for my child underneath their coat. And so it does, wonders for that. And, so I don't know, man. Every time I see someone use it differently, or if I see, I've worked with some great people that have made commercials, had reviews that have been videos, listening to customers talk about, how they've used it. Again, those wow moments, because I say, wow, I never thought about that in some situations. But it's a great experience. It really is. It's motivating and encouraging that no matter, what obstacles that we encounter going forward, that having one or two or three or 10 people who benefited from the product, who believe in the product as much as I believe in the product, or as much as we believe in the product. I believe those experiences are, that's the gold lining, if you will, or the silver lining, as some say. That sometimes entrepreneurs, they don't have the time to really see those because we're always working so hard trying to get to that next level, that we don't enjoy the journey. And
Right.
so those parts of it, where you do see a video or a commercial is good.
Love that. Love that. I'm going to say for those, and I appreciate you guys over on the Amazon Live platform. Also, I'll see you guys over there on YouTube as well. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. We're celebrating Small Business Saturday today, and I could not do this without being able to celebrate my friend Robert Helm and what he's been able to do with the AllSports headgear that's available here on Amazon. So if you guys have not gotten it, as you can see, it comes in different colors. We're going to talk more about the style here in a bit, and also some of the newer designs that are also available. Let you guys know that, and how to stay connected with Robert too. Also, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you guys do put those in the chat. We'll be glad to be able to bring those up as well. So, Robert, I want to talk about the continued evolution because it is a product. You are a business owner. As I said, you're wearing a different design now. Talk to us about that because the actual concept has stayed the same in many ways. But what
Mhm.
has it been like for you to kind of change things up in the look and feel of the All Sports headgear?
Well, I think, having the ability to have a product that's versatile in a way where you can change the material for different purposes. Like, we started with the terry cloth, and that was excellent for the purpose in which we created the All Sports headgear, which was for it to be a head towel. And so it was excellent for that. But then what we found from a lot of feedback from our customers was, man, that function is great. It really is, man. But the style, this thing is just, it looks cool. You know what I mean? You can rock it different ways. You can add a hood to different things, etc. And so then we said, oh, okay, well, that's great. I like, I feel the same way actually. And so then that led to, well, what other styles are we talking about? And so we had at that time an individual who was able to do like tie dye and different customizations like that. And when we started tie dyeing them, man, people were like, "Oh, I really like this color. Can you do it this color?" And so that was great. That's what led to the camouflage. Was okay. Well, we probably wouldn't do tie dye on a commercial level, but we could go with various types of camouflage colors and kind of give
Mm.
it the same effect. And so we did that. We came up with 5 different colors of the camouflage, and that was awesome. And just as we're doing today, various interviews that I was doing, a lot of them at that time was pre-COVID. So they were face-to-face interviews, and some of them you had to get, suited and booted, if you will. And in doing that, yeah, you could rock a terry cloth and yeah, it kind of looked cool, but it kind of looked out of place for that. And then, well, the camouflage, yeah, that might give you the wrong color coordination or something to that effect. So then leather became an option because you look down at your shoes and you're saying, yo, what can I match my shoes with that will look great? And so then we came up with 4 different colors, excuse me, of the leather, and having, kind of the common colors of leather because many leather coats don't have hoods. And so that was one of the reasons why I didn't really like to rock my leather coat much, is because it didn't have a hood. So by having now the leather all sports hood, it gave us the ability to do just that. It has the pouches still. It still has the hair opening, so all of the different variations of material still have the same features. Except in the case of the leather, it's not absorbent like a towel. And then in the case of the camouflage, it's not really a towel. It's absorbent to some extent, but it's not like a towel. So those variations are different. But other than that, man, it's been excellent to have the ability to change the material. We have a couple of more prototype materials that we haven't shared with the world yet. But the I think the most fantastic thing I do want to say is because now we found that there are companies on different sites and so forth that are manufacturing products. Some of them are trying to basically do the exact same thing that we're presenting in terms of our design. But what I love about being the inventor and the originator is even though I see that and it does hurt my feelings to see that, I think about you. Normally, you can't beat the inventor, because I know why I created it, I know how I created it, and I know where it can go. And so, as I said, we do have additional items that will keep us on the forefront as being the premier supplier, manufacturer, and creator of all sports headgear hood.
Love that. Love that. Have a comment on Amazon. What's your greatest inspiration?
My greatest inspiration is definitely my family, man. I have to say that because my goal has always been to do something big, that is impactful, and those are the people that I want to impact the most.
To that point, you had shared a story with us on the broadcast before, Robert, when I think it was a truck that came in with the AllSports headgear and the family helping with the truck. Talk to us about what it's been like for you to share this experience with them.
Uh, well, as I said, I've always wanted to do something big. Man, you gonna make me emotional, man. I'm trying not to be. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, because family means something different to me today than it did, even just a couple years ago. So,
Hmm.
um, you know, having the ability to do something that can be here when you're gone,
Yeah.
that can have an impact on other people, family or friends or other people that you don't know. Um, that's where I get my inspiration, And like I said, my family being the people that I feel like I have the greatest potential to impact,
Right.
um, that would be my driving force.
Love that. Love that. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think it's pronounced Yessie. Thank you so much for that question. So you mentioned, of course, moving forward then, Robert, as people are looking at you, I know you've been able to inspire others. Social media has been a big part. You and I've never met in person. I should let our audience know. I've been knowing you for years. But you and I've never met in person. How has social media kind of helped to connect you with the world and to be able to share the message about all sports headgear?
It's been a great tool. I can say, pre-COVID, right? When everything was still really hands-on, I wasn't really big on social media.
Hmm.
But as we got to the situation where we couldn't have that interaction, it became more, important to keep the momentum or keep the product out there so people could be aware of it.
Right.
Um, and so having the different tools, from like this great platform, Amazon Live, your other platforms that you also are on, and then obviously the big social networking platforms
Hmm.
have given me an opportunity to reach people that I haven't talked to in years, man. Because when I graduated and went away to college, I kind of never really went back in a lot
Right.
of ways. And so when I got into social media seriously, man, a lot of people they was like, "Man, we thought you were dead," kind of thing. And it's unfortunate that we are so immersed in that when
Yeah.
someone is not involved, you think something's happened to them. So,
Right.
but anyway, it's been a great tool to get the message out, and I'm grateful for what it's been able to do for me.
Gotcha. You bring up an interesting point here. I mean, social media is, of course, we all know the power and impact of it. But it seems like, Robert, you're a person that still likes that human to human engagement. Is that kind of where you shine? You feel like when you're able to have that person to person engagement.
Absolutely, man. I'm sorry, I gotta. I'm over here, man, recovering from my emotional moment. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, no problem. No, I was saying it seems like you really shine when it comes to person. That seems to be what you enjoy the most. Do you feel as though that's like the biggest part for you? That social media is great, but you love that human to human interaction.
Absolutely. Well, with social media, it comes with that. So,
Mhm.
what I think the most important part of any product is being able to lay hands and eyes on the people who are utilizing the product or who could potentially use the product,
Mhm.
so that as you develop and whether your presentation of the product or the product evolving itself, it can be based off those characteristics. So outside of that, I just enjoy making quality relationships with people. Because I'm inspired by other people just as much as I like to inspire people.
Right.
So being around people, seeing people's success, just like I do with yours every day, as I watch you continue to blow the roof off. Um, it's just it makes me want to do more, man. Like I said, and it starts with my family doing it for them. But I'm like, with social media, now you have the ability to let it resonate beyond just where you are. And so that's what I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to growing to that kind of point where I can quietly make waves that benefit other people, through my endeavor with the All Sports Headgear and All Sports Athletic Apparel.
Love that. Looking forward to seeing what you do next. I can't let you leave, Robert, without talking about some of the stylish aspects, the different ways people can wear it. You've told us about this before, but give our audience some tips. I see some of them clicking through on the Amazon side, getting theirs. What are some ideas you have for them that the way that they can be able to wear it?
Well, first, let me say thank you to all of those who are clicking. I'm a small business, minority-owned business, and I'm grateful for that. As far as different ways to wear the product, different styles, well, as I said, I'm still getting wild from time to time. But the ways that I am aware that you can wear it and really benefit from it is just like now. I'm here. I'm down in the lower level of my home. It's a little cooler down here. So it's real convenient, something really lightweight you can put on to just add a little bit more warmth, especially in the house during the winter, which is almost here in Michigan. Also wearing it beneath, I'm not gonna, because I only have a t-shirt on at the moment, but you can wear it easily. Like I could put another t-shirt or a coat or a sweater or anything over the top of this and add a hood to anything. Having versatile colors, as you can see, this one is like 3 different colors or 3 or 4 different colors. You can match it up like that as an accent to different items. If you're going to the swimming pool or something like that, like I'm not buff, but I like to feel buff. So, I put on my hood and, I kind of stick out my chest a little bit. And so it's nice to wear it like that. But as far as the different versions would go, it depends on what version you have as to maybe how you might utilize it. But for me, I can tell you this for sure. And if I was a betting man, I would put all of my chips on this, especially because I'm a Michigander, place where it gets cold. The All Sports Headgear terry cloth version, not this one, but the terry cloth version that you have on, Mr. Webb, is an absolute godsend for anybody who has to go outside for any amount of time. If you're a person like me who is missing some stuff up here, or even a person who's not, even if you wear hats or anything else, having an All Sports just to put on over the top of it, I promise you, it will make such a difference that it'll be worth every dime you spend on it, whether it's $20, $15, $10, whatever the price is that you do wind up spending, or if it's given to you, because I do that. I've also given a lot out to people as gifts, especially, friends and family and so forth. So I promise you'll be happy with it.
Yeah. And speaking of price, it is on sale right now here on Amazon. As you guys can see, $19.95 is the sale price right now. So you all can be able to save some money as we are celebrating Small Business Saturdays going into Cyber Monday. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. We have another question for you, Robert. What advice do you have for someone wanting to invent a product and create their own business? Great question for Small Business Saturday.
Wow. Yeah, that is a great question. Well, I would advise, for sure to, establish your idea clearly on paper, both for your business and for your product, right? And try to match that up in a way where they support one another. Because in my case, as a small business sometimes, and as a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't have the capital to do a lot of the things that maybe Fortune 500s or other companies can. It's important to create that path is in much detail as possible. And then utilize the resources around you, right? Whether it's social media or what have you, to kind of test that market and see if it's viable. And then, once you've done that, then you go your traditional mechanisms. And I can say this again, as a small business, that it's costly to do a lot of things. There's a lot of people out there who prey on small businesses because they understand that you're lacking resources and other things. So they make promises. So I would say definitely do your due diligence and, identifying people who have your best interest in mind, because even if you have to pay for it, right? If the person that you paying at least cares enough about you to support your idea genuinely. And honestly, what I found with a lot of businesses, like what you've done, Cyrus, has been a blessing, and I thank you for it. But many people want to talk to you and build up their credibility and things and hope that maybe or anticipate maybe the success of yours and they can lean on that, but they never buy your product. You know what I mean? I've been contacted by lots of marketing companies, which that's the big thing now is the social network marketing and so forth, that make lots of promises, but they never have tried your product. They don't know anything about your product. And so the best person to sell that product is the person who either created it or the person who is using that product. And so creating a business to support the product, especially in the case like I did, All Sports Headgear, All Sports Athletic Apparel. Again, these are ways to kind of protect your product and protect your brand if you can't afford to do the traditional things that is required, like copywriting or patenting or trademarking or what have you. But you should certainly utilize those resources around you to the best of your ability. I'm not sure if I answered your question in full, but that was on my mind. I felt like I really needed to say that.
No, I think that does, and hopefully they found that helpful as well. And they're hearing from someone who's definitely done it. Again, everyone, Mr. All Sports Headgear himself, Robert Helm, is our guest. Great conversation with you, as it always is, Robert. Make sure you guys on the Amazon side go ahead, pick you out a color, pick you out a design for All Sports Headgear. Also, make sure you share it with your family and friends, and not just for Small Business Saturdays, but also, of course, great gift ideas and knowing you're supporting a small business, which is so important, I think, for all of us these days. And it's great to be able to have it here on Amazon for you guys. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, you will see the link that will bring you over to Amazon. So no matter what platform you're joining us on, click on that link. It'll bring you over to Amazon, but you can be able to take advantage of getting your own All Sports Headgear as well. Robert, congratulations to you again. Always proud of you. How can our viewers stay connected with you?
Well, they can stay connected with me by obviously pretty much any of the social networks. We're All Sports Athletic Apparel or All Sports Headgear. Generally, I'm on both of them as both. And allsportsheadgear.com, obviously, you can find us, as well as allsportsathleticapparel.com. And you can follow us with everything that Mr. Webb does, because we try to participate and support you in every way we can. So I'd like to thank you and Amazon for this opportunity.
Amen. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to next time for sure. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Again, if you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, make sure you guys hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does allow you to stay connected with all the broadcasts that we do here. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.